my damn name.
All right, ready? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Sunday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get your podcast. We appreciate y'all, that chime in and do the feedback. You can do that through going to looking in the show notes of each episode. You can also leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We really love those. We read them on the show every Saturday when we do feedback, and it just warms our heart, man. It just lets us know that y'all give a fuck and y'all care and that y'all like what we're talking about. The official weapon of the show is
the taser,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball,
and bullet ball extreme. And let's go ahead and start getting into the show. I guess we can kind of start with some of the segments and whatnot. As soon as my computer pulls up the music. We can start with the coronavirus segment, but I do want to say, as of today, we both are boosted again.
Yes.
We reboosted with the bivalent. We double buy.
I was not playing with him. I was highly upset when we went up there and them people's like, no, you too young. I was like, oh, bitch, fuck you. People turning down this goddamn shot and I want it and you telling me no. I made a middle note and I was like, when y'all drop this motherfucking age, I'm going to take my black ass back. I want all 5 of my shots, bitches.
So is that what happened in Charlotte? They dropped the age in North Carolina?
Yeah, they dropped the age. Okay. They don't have age now. You walk up in there and be like, I want my shot. They be like, cool, here you go, here's your shot. Because what the fuck are they gonna do? They spoiling and shit. I mean, because you have a lot of people that didn't go back and get their boosters, so the shit is just sitting on the shelves.
Okay. All right. I did not know that was what happened. I haven't kept track with North Carolina. I thought that we were already at our maximum shots for our age group and for what they would give us. But I don't know. You managed to get your shot. So I said, let me try to get mine. But I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I wasn't playing no games. I feel like Miss Smart would have been very proud of me.
Come on.
Shout out to the Detroit Hustler.
Shout out to the Hustler.
Because I lied. Okay, I lied to get my shot. I'm in New York, so I don't even know if the age thing is the same here. So that's number one. So I just last time we got it, the woman gave us a new card instead of using our old card, and our old card had the old dates. And so when she asked me for my card, I gave her the old card with the old date, and she was like, oh, okay, so you only had 3 shots. I was like, yep. And she was like, okay, well, I said, I just wanted to buy bivalent booster. And she was like, okay, cool, I got you. And she looked in her computer, and I guess it didn't tell her that I had that shot in Charlotte, which maybe they don't communicate.
They don't keep track. Like that's why everybody asks for them cards, because they technically, all jokes aside, they do not keep track of the shit. There's no national database or anything involved.
Okay, yeah, well, whatever. I lied because I didn't want to take no chances. Because the last couple times I was honest, I got motherfucking Mr. and Mrs. CVS, the pharmacist that was going above and beyond, and they was like asking follow-up questions, and then being like, and when I was honest, they was being like, nah, you don't qualify. And so I'll be like, fuck, I drove up here for no reason. And so this time I just was like, yeah, that's all I got. And she was like, okay, cool. And then she did it, and maybe wait 10 minutes so I'll make sure I didn't die, and then I left. So yeah, I just went ahead and got mine. They didn't even look at my insurance or my ID. They just looked at that card.
It's still free now. So yeah. Get the shots while you can, because eventually it ain't gonna be free no more. And if you ain't got insurance, bitch, them things gonna be over $100-something a goddamn shot. You better be on it.
You know what? Before we start spreading misinformation, let's get into the segment. Because I know Sean is somewhere typing up a motherfucking email right now. God damn it.
Don't do it.
Look, here we go
Don't
again.
do it.
We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dumbest expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying. Cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans. Man, damn. Looks like it's no Drew holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus. Fuck that COVID-19 is unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19 is unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
Coronavirus time. All right, let's get to these articles. What?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Karen. What's wrong?
Yeah, we can. But for me, I you know what? I think the one I went to, I'm gonna tell you the truth, they were busy, and I probably think that's because it's why. But I gave her both my things, honey. She signed it. She gave me that shot and kept it put. She was like, "I'm just trying to get you get you in and up and out of here." So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
had no
they
problem.
know us that one too
They
because we
do.
go there. That's our home pharmacy, and yeah, I think for the most part, there are people who just don't have a problem getting the booster because people don't care right now, and they are going to spoil. But I don't know why my fucking luck, man. I just kept running into the CVS employee of the month that was
They
like, "Let me
always ask
see
them
ID.
questions.
Let me see this. Okay, I'm checking the database. Okay,
They
I'm
asked for
doing
your
this."
ID and shit. No, I had to go do none of that. They was like, "Let me
Well,
see your card."
you were there with me, Karen. When we
Oh, the
went
first time. Yes, 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 yes,
one
yes, yes.
time, yeah, and she just like, y'all don't qualify. You have to be blank, and
You have to be
so
50.
yeah, or
Mhm.
whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was. It's just something that we didn't have. So I was kind of low key expecting that to happen this time, but I said I'm a lie, and I'm coming out of here with this shot one way or the other. And so I just lied and it worked. Anyway, coronavirus news. Well, the first lie that was told on the show that we need to go back and make sure is correct.
Oh shit.
Moderna says that its COVID vaccine will remain free for all consumers, even if you're uninsured.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. That's new.
Yeah, a lot of this is something that just recently changed. They were
That
slammed
makes sense.
last month for considering, reportedly considering a dramatic price hike on the shot. And so the Biden administration is obviously moving forward with ending its designation of public health emergency, meaning where the government was stepping in and federal funding was what was paying for the vaccine doses for people. It was no longer going to be doing that. So then you're throwing in a price hike. So then you're really putting the screws to people who need to be vaccinated.
Right. And so that's why I basically was going off of old information. So forgive me, y'all, because I listen to like a lot of people to keep up on this, and a lot of them was saying, hey dog, when they release this, everybody gonna throw them prices up.
Yeah, everyone was thinking that, but we haven't done this segment in like a week, so I figured I'd just update everybody. The price increase is reportedly going to be from $26 to about as much as $130. Senator Bernie Sanders, who has long advocated for government-funded health care and had alleged the move will result in people dying. How many of these Americans will die from COVID-19 as a result of limited access to these life-saving vaccines? He wrote in January in a letter to Moderna. While nobody can predict the exact figure, the number could well be in the thousands in the midst of a deadly pandemic. Restricting access to this much needed vaccine is unconscionable. But now Moderna will be the sole manufacturer of COVID vaccines offering a shot for free to the uninsured. So not even Pfizer has done this. Under federal regulation, insurance companies are already required to foot the bill for COVID vaccines. Moderna remains committed to ensuring the people of the United States will have access to our COVID-19 vaccines, regardless of ability to pay, the company wrote in a statement. Moderna's COVID-19 vaccines will continue to be available at no cost for insured people, whether they receive them at their doctor's office or local pharmacies. For uninsured or underinsured people, Moderna's patient assistance program will provide COVID-19 vaccines at no cost.
Let's go. And actually, because it's actually really smart for them. And, people who do things for alternative, but it actually makes them look great. as far as the general public. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have more people get their shot now. More people going to be like, the fuck, I'm not paying for
Maybe.
that. I'd rather get the one that's free.
Yeah, you definitely have more. Oh yeah, more people get Moderna than Pfizer if they got to pay for it.
Yes.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
WHO abandons plans for a crucial second phase of COVID origin investigations. Basically, the plans were to find out like where it came from, if it came from bats, if it came from a lab, whatever. But the WHO has quietly shelved that investigation, citing ongoing challenges over attempts to conduct crucial studies in China. So China's, I guess, not cooperating.
Right. They won't even get true COVID numbers. Of course, they're not cooperating.
Right. I read this article, why some Aussies completely escaped being infected with COVID-19. And basically, it's a long ass thing that goes through a lot of individual people's reasoning, but it really came down to a lot like luck, people that vigilant masking, people that have the lifestyles that keep them from being in contact with a lot of people, that kind of shit. Like a lot of people keep looking for like some super resistant like people who just like come into contact with COVID and COVID is just bouncing off of them.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to find a cure for it and shit like that. Yeah, they talk about, we gotta find these people.
But we ain't really finding that. Like, it's just turning out that there's people who are either lucky or safer or luckier than other people. And
right. They like,
that's it.
I'm gonna fight the battle. It was like, I know a lot of people said, fuck it. A lot of people go, they over it. They was like, the hell I am, because what ain't playing with us, COVID. It's still out here. It's still out here going, okay, you over it, but I ain't.
Mm-hmm. Thousands of Disney employees fight a mandate requiring them to work in the office 4 days a week.
I can see that.
It's set to begin next month. The Washington Post reports that more than 2,000 of the company's workers have signed a petition to CEO Bob Iger, arguing the change will likely have unintended consequences that cause long-term harm to the company.
Yeah, you're gonna have more employees out sick and things like that. I think that it has to be a balance. I completely understand people and understand to an extent the company's perspective. They're like, we got all these buildings, we paid all these spaces, we got all these cubicles, we need to do something with them. But employees are like, I am safe at home. Everybody comes in, you're probably not gonna have mask regulations. You're probably, you're gonna have people that's gonna quote unquote be back to normal, and it's gonna cause friction in the working environment because everybody think you bring everybody in and it's gonna be all good. No, bitch, you're gonna have people that has been very, very diligent about not catching the shit. And they're going to be like, hey, don't be coming in my cube in my face. Don't be coming around here talking to me. Like, no, leave me alone. And, and it's going to be that thing where you're going to have to deal with the consequences of everybody running HR going, I'm being harassed both ways. I'm being harassed for taking my mask off. I'm being harassed for putting my mask on, and so there has to be a balance. But I could see some people that have become accustomed to working at home going, bitch, what the fuck I'm going to come in there for? And what they're not talking about, too, is that for a lot of people, they have become accustomed to working at home, which means they have a lot of their budget is lower and all that stuff. And a lot of people actually move further away. So now you're asking people that moved further away to save money to actually take this long ass commute. And a lot of them are like, now I gotta take this fucking ridiculous long ass commute. And also something I've thought about, and I might be wrong, but I think that when you do this, you basically limit your pool to driving proximity. Basically, if you can't be within driving proximity, we're not going to hire you on a lot of positions. And to me, you limit your pool. You limit your pool of candidates.
Those are all great points. But what's happening right now is that a lot of them already are working in the office. They're working a hybrid schedule. They currently work a hybrid schedule, require them to work in the office 2 or 3 days a week. So changing it to 4 is just increasing that. So most of them are already there. They're drawing the line at like, I don't need to be there 4 days a week.
Right, because and a lot of them like this too, which I don't blame them. Bitch, 4 would turn into 5. No, 2 or 3 is enough. They was like, you're gonna slowly increase until my ass is in here every goddamn day, and they're like, no.
The company hasn't responded to the petition yet. Iger announced the policy change in January, stating that working in person would benefit the company and its workers. Additionally, the company announced earlier this month that it plans to cut 7,000 jobs in an attempt to rein in expenses. At the time, Iger cited the need to cut $5.5 billion in costs across the Disney company. I think it's really more about that, because even if people quit or refuse to come in, they'll just count it towards like, cool, those are cuts we don't have to make. And even if they lose institutional knowledge and power and management and all this stuff that they've had in these employees, they were going to lose that shit anyway in their minds. So this is like, y'all just cut yourself, then we got to cut the rest of these jobs. But it's companies are just ready to go back to what was going on before the pandemic.
Yeah, and also the thing is, to an extent, it's still going to be hard. Let's say you say, okay, everybody come in 5 days a week. Okay, it's
4
whole
days.
ass. I mean, 4 days a week. Okay, it's
Mhm.
whole ass economy's built around this. What about all the stores and all the retails that I've shut down that will never ever come back? So now I come here. Now I don't have anywhere to eat around me. I don't have none of the shit that was here before ain't here no more. So now I have to bring my own shit or prepare my own food or drive
Well,
even further.
or so in their mind, they would say those places will come back because you're coming back. So you'll look up and Quiznos and retail restaurants and places like that will start to open up again because we all are forcing y'all to come in to this area that y'all weren't coming in. It won't be immediate, but it will be soon because somebody gonna make that money. Like, I know what they're trying to do, which is, I think in a large part they're trying to stimulate the economy
Actually, yeah,
in those areas by being like, come your ass back to work. And yeah, you're gonna be spending more money and it's gonna be helping, the
right.
things that our business is designed in their mind, the benefits of having a business located in your city, the things they sell in your city when they get these companies huge discounts to have these buildings, is this
Hmm.
whole like, we're going to stimulate the economy. We're going to have people buying lofts downtown. We're going to have people going getting gas and driving, using the roads and da 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 da. And the pandemic shut all that shit down and proved it was illusion. We don't need that shit.
Hmm.
I say we don't need that shit, but what I really mean is we, the individual worker who was able to work from home, didn't need it. But did we need it? Yeah, some people did need it. Your Quiznos people, your fucking gas station people, there are some people that were relying on us to, like, our commute and all the shit that we don't like was fueling somebody, whether it was just the rent of the fucking space in the buildings. Like, it was always some money being made and people trying to crank the economy back up.
Yeah, and like I said, from that perspective, I completely understand. From that perspective, and I think a lot of your big places are gonna come back. I guess the ones I'm talking about, like your little moms and pops, then that one are never gonna recover. Like them, a lot of them places ain't coming back.
Right, but there'll be a new mom and a new pop that'll start a new one. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about getting the same people back. It's just getting the industry and the business back. I'm not even agreeing that they should do this shit. I'm just saying this is their argument. Is
Right.
like the stuff that people are complaining about is the stuff that is going to come back if they, come back too. Like, oh, we don't have a newspaper stand. Well, you will eventually because somebody's going to start a new one. But yeah, I just think a lot of people are not gonna there's gonna be a lot of people who are looking to work remote and will find a way because companies are now a little more open to that.
Right.
And we were proven in the pandemic that there's not this huge fucking consequence to people working remote. No,
Mm-mm.
the thing that bothers me is this capitalistic myth that the slave driver mentality of these fucking corporate CEO people who are the ones who really don't have to be in the office that much,
Right.
that have everything catered, that get driven to work, that get flown to different locations, that if they need to work from home, they can work from home. If they want to have a corporate paid dinner, they can do that. They have all these fucking luxuries, and one of the luxuries I think they have is just the fucking boner they get from walking around a floor of an office. Like, I own all these people, all these people
Yes.
work for me, and they're always constantly preaching like morale and like family shit. Like, we need to all be together and we need to see each other. And I'm like, to me, if it feels like a fucking it feels like a plantation owner going out and looking over the fucking fields at all the fucking like workers that are like, doing the real labor and being like, this is what a job is. This is what a work environment is. I need this morale boost. And it's like, it's not the same for everybody, dude. Some of us, if I can, pick the cotton from my fucking bed or from my living room, I'd rather just do it that way.
Right.
I don't get what you get from this, which is we're all here together. Oh, thank God. I love walking by offices full of people. I never was getting that, and it just feels like some weird shit that they're into.
Yes, and also it's one of those things to where, like you said, that's where that disconnect comes in. And also, I think that the pandemic told a lie and made people realize that the job working should not be your life. And I think for the first time ever, a lot of people realized that. A lot of people started actually, quote unquote, getting lives, which means they started spending more time with family, spending more time with friends, spending shit, doing hobbies, doing extracurricular shit, doing shit outside of work, shit that where work is now not their top priority anymore. And when you come into your job every day, it slowly becomes your top priority. You spend more time in the office space than you do with your fucking family and kids and loved ones. You spend more time there than you do sleeping in your own bed. So I think for a lot of people, they started prioritizing that. And I think for a lot of people, the facade of family and the lies that the jobs tell them, particularly the younger generation, they actually are seeing through that. Our generation is kind of like our parents. We're like, fuck this is a goddamn job. You pay me to be here, bitch. Then I clock my ass out and I go home. Like we don't. A lot of us don't really have that connection to a job. We don't have this new generation where everybody comes in. Oh, we're a family. Oh, we love each other. Oh, yeah, bitch. When April come and it's time to it's time to cut jobs. They're gonna send your ass out of here. They don't care about how much you worked off the clock, how much overtime you had. No, they don't care.
That
and I think
to me is cultural and less about the pandemic and more about a cultural thing. But I was gonna say, if they truly want to be family, if they truly want people to come into the office, I get it. I'm here in New York because they wanted us to do this job in an office environment, right? Then invest in safety.
Right.
You know what happens every day I walk into work? I get tested for COVID every fucking day. And if we have a day off, like a holiday or some fucking super event like a Super Bowl or some shit, everybody gotta get the fucking PCR test. Like, they not playing. And so in that environment, I feel a lot safer. It costs a lot of money to do that shit, by the way.
Right.
But they doing it because that's what you do for family, quote unquote. That's what you do when you want safety, when you want to make sure that your jobs are gonna get done. And when someone is sick, they work from home. They even if you just got a sniffle, even if you don't test positive of COVID, you just say, I woke up and my throat was scratchy. Hey, go ahead, work from home. Take a COVID test. Let us know if it's negative. And when you feel better, you can come on in. Like, that's the thing. If you truly want to be real, that's what Disney should be doing if they want to make these demands of people. It's like, yeah, we do want you to be here every day. And you know what? Y'all are right. It will be more dangerous. So what we're going to do is we're going to institute some COVID tests. Boom. Everybody can, I get to work. I take my test. I sit in my office for 15 minutes. Don't really talk or do nothing to nobody. If you don't got it, then you go about your day as normal. If you do, then you go home.
Okay, I agree. So, and people would be more willing to do it. I agree. If they were to do that.
Companies are talking out both sides of their neck. They're throwing you in a wood chipper, but pretending that it's some family value shit. No, nigga. It's not. You know what to boost my morale? Knowing ain't nobody in this bitch got COVID. My morale will be high as fuck all day. You know what I'm saying? like right now, I'm like, a motherfucker get a sniffle. I'm like, oh God, we gonna die. But if we were all getting tested daily, it's a lot less likely. If we were all y'all provide a mask like my job does. They're providing the daily number of how many people are hospitalized and all that type of stuff. So you have some semblance of it's being acknowledged, and we're trying to be cautious. So, all right, last one. This one is from theconversation.com. How much immunity do we get from a COVID infection? Large study offers new clues. I read this long ass shit. The main thing is it's about the same as getting vaccinated. That being said, they do not recommend you go out and get fucking COVID because they said it's unpredictable. You don't know how it's going to affect you. Like, no one's getting long COVID from the fucking vaccines. People are getting long COVID from COVID.
Right.
There was another article that I forgot to fucking say, but I did read that was about heart problems people are having after contracting COVID. Sometimes even mild cases, you can still have problems with your heart for up to a year. That they know of. I think a lot of this stuff we have now. This is speculation a bit on my part because they're still studying this. But I think a lot of the stuff we're seeing with, not the previous part, but what I'm about to say, a lot of stuff we're seeing with young people having heart issues and stuff more often lately. I am wondering if when the studies come back, what that will say, because it's hard for me to imagine that this, like, the amount of just like, this athlete had a heart issue, so high school kid gets cardiac arrest on the football field. Like, I'm reading those kind of articles a lot lately, and I'm just wondering, how many of those are actually COVID related things, or people that had COVID didn't feel like they had it too bad, didn't really feel like they had long COVID symptoms, but
may not have tested themselves.
Or no, they know they had it,
All right, that's true. Oh, they know they had it, right?
But you just didn't, for a long time, we just measured a lot of stuff with COVID and did you die?
Right. And it's not
like, I went to the hospital, are you dead? No. Then you fine. And it's like, okay, well, I can't really walk up a flight of stairs anymore. Yeah, but you ain't die. So
yeah, I can't run like I used to. I'm having
that
brain fog.
That check mark goes into did you die, did you not die? And for a lot of people, it's like, I went on and started playing basketball again, playing football again. Cool, you're fine. You had COVID for a week and now you're fine. And then 6 months later, someone has cardiac arrest on a football field at a high school game. I don't think people are thinking that's related to when they had COVID last year. They're thinking they had something. They must have a heart issue, and maybe they do. I think we're gonna see studies and someone's analyzing this shit, because I know I ain't the only nigga that thought about it. So once again, that's speculation. I have no fucking scientific evidence to back me up yet.
It wouldn't be surprising if somebody does do a study about that. Oh, and to kind of piggyback, we were talking about the jobs. It's going to be interesting to see the generation now that has been impacted by COVID, how when they become CEOs, CFOs, and get all these high-paying jobs, how they're going to feel about working from home and things like that. Like, will a lot of them be more flexible with that or not? Like, that's gonna be really interesting. I just thought about that. Like, are they gonna be like, bring your ass into work?
Yeah. All right, let's get into some other news. Let's get into some regular news. All right. Don Lemon apologizes to CNN colleagues for sexist remarks. I'm sorry that I said it.
What did he say?
So he originally was talking about what's that woman that ran for that's running for president for MAGA? I mean for Republicans. Nikki Haley. South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley's presidential candidacy. She announced it, and so he was on CNN this morning. He declared that her running for president, when declaring her running for presidency, Haley called for mental competency tests for politicians over the age of 75. Lemon argued that she herself isn't in her prime. He attempted to support his argument by saying that a woman is only considered to be in their primes in their 20s, 30s, and maybe 40s.
What?
The comments were met with pushback from co-anchors Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, but Lemon kept advancing his argument, even doubling down on it in the segment the following hour. Haley herself weighed in later on Twitter, attacking Lemon for comments and even using them to fundraise. During CNN's Friday editorial meeting, Chris Licht, the network's chief executive, said that he had heard from a number of people inside the organization about Lemon's remarks. He said the comments were unacceptable and unfair to his co-host. Licht added that he believed it was necessary to foster a culture of accountability and felt it was important for Lemon to appear at the morning meeting, which took place virtually, so he could apologize. Lemon thanked Licht for the opportunity to directly address staffers and said that he wanted to be really clear about his regret for his comments. I believe that women of any age can do whatever they set their minds to. The people I'm closest to in this organization are women. He added, citing his relationship with various hosts and executives. The people I seek counsel from most in this organization are women. He did not appear on CNN this morning on Friday, but his absence had been planned ahead of the controversy and was announced Thursday on the air. He also apologized for his remarks in a tweet on Thursday afternoon. The reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant. As colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it, a woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day. So, this makes me think of two things. The first is Don Lemon was really in his bag when he was just shitting on Trump. Like, it was easy, it was simple. We all agreed. It was like, come on back to the cookout. Before that, we had always kind of had to, like, I don't know. Killer Mike called him Dummy Don or whatever, and it stuck for a while. But he grew the fro out and was shitting on Trump, and we was like, actually, you know what? He cool. Number two, this is why I always say Michelle Obama was right.
Yep.
You see what happened when he tried to go low, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
You see what just happened there?
Everybody loses their minds.
Did we let him cook? Did we say he called her a bitch, not me? Did we say that? No, we didn't say that at all, did we? We said you need to apologize. You talking about all women right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole illusion that happens, especially specifically on social media, that people on the left, people that are progressive, can like engage in this like back and forth with Republicans where we insult them and it doesn't matter how low we go. That's a fantasy.
Yeah,
and
they don't have a line. We have a line, and when you crowd city, we all lose our minds. We don't care.
And no one who says it engages in it. They always just talk about what they would have. Don't tell me not to go low. I go to the motherfucking bottom of hell. And it's like, you won't do shit. Then call somebody something. Let's do it. Go ahead, do it right now. Go ahead and go low. You ain't gonna go
right.
low.
You're right. That's why for a lot of people when they scared about cancel culture, it's like, oh, you have not done anything to be canceled. So why are you over here panicking like cancel culture is gonna come and run you down?
I don't know. What do you mean by that part? I'm not.
Because like what you're saying about the right and the left, like a lot of times the left sometimes even panic sometimes, and when it comes to quote unquote being canceled, because they're like, hey, I can get canceled by anything, and they, like you say, they have a line that they won't cross the line, but sometimes they'll talk about how other people have crossed the line, and like it's for some people it sets a panic in them.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like I said, those are the first two thoughts I had come in mind. Like, stick to just talking shit about Trump and the racist MAGA people. Right. And it reminds me of another time where he was talking to like a Bill Cosby or someone, a survivor of their sexual abuse, and he asked her a question of like, why didn't you bite the dude's penis or something like that? And it was so inartful and insensitive and just stupid. It was just fucking dumb. And it just reminded me of that, where I'm like, bro, you came back from that. Like, you were Donald Trump's number one most hated news person. And I think people just begrudgingly said, you know what, let's let him back in. And then eventually enthusiastically was like, yo, we fuck with Don Lemon again. And he about to throw it away again. Anyway.
Because when you make blanketed remarks, like, he was fine until he started talking about all women. Everybody was like, hey, I'm a woman. Like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, a woman's prime, 20s, 30s, and 40s. Like, I don't think he was going for a type of joke, but you're not a type of joke job,
No, you are not. Man, there are a lot
People,
of women in here going, well, bitch, I'm outside of that age and I'm sitting right beside you. Like, the fuck is this?
yeah, it's that thing where like anytime a person expresses some type of negativity towards a type of body or type of person, you have to be very careful, man. Like I every person is attracted to certain genres, types, whatever. Everybody has their
Mhm.
kinks and fetishes, but it's the expression of those. And people want to admit this part because they act like it's all good, no shame and blah, blah, blah. But once you start expressing it, people turn it into like either. And of course, he's gay. He's not expressing a fetish, but you know what I mean?
But yeah, I'm
Once you
with you.
start talking about types of people in their bodies, there's always someone that's going to be offended. There's always someone that's going to be hit by that. I remember when it was a big thing to shit on Miley Cyrus because she was being naked all the goddamn time, trying to do like
Mhm.
some type of sex, like raunchiness, like child stars do this all the time.
Yeah, they do.
And I remember the amount of people that just talked bad about her body and they thought, well, I'm talking about a white woman, so it's not the same. And it's like there's black women that have Miley Cyrus bodies.
Yes, it is.
And they see how y'all are talking, and some of them gonna get mad. Kendrick Lamar said something in the affirmative kind of something that people swear they want to hear, which is like, you hear women say all the time, why do people only want these fake ass BBL, ant body, blah, 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 all this negative stuff, talk about the Kardashians, talk about surgery, blah, blah, blah. And he said, show me something natural, like ass with some stretch marks. And people was like, how dare he? So people that get surgical enhancement, now they are bad people. And it's like, you know what, dog? You just shouldn't even said what you into. These motherfuckers can't handle it. And it's true. Everyone has preferences. Everyone has shout outs and things they into. You just not allowed to really express it, or you can express it in the positive and hope that people don't get offended. But yeah, he should have just stayed out of all this shit. It just ain't even his table. Chris Brown claps back at critics following backlash over upcoming Chloe Bailey collab. Please kiss my whole entire ass. Yeah, he finally broke and started responding on social media to the at this point, let's see, 16 years, I guess, of people just kind of like don't like this nigga. Like, for lack of a better term, we just don't like him.
We kind of talked about this on Three Guys On. It's a generational thing, because for a lot of people that don't like him, not trying to find y'all niggas our age, like, and you do have people that are a lot younger than us that his music was intended for, that grew up and they've been listening to his music for fucking 16 years, and he is, the bomb. So it don't matter what we think.
But you know what though? Not even a lot younger than us. I don't even know where that comes from. Like, there are people our age or a little younger than us that he's their guy.
I can see that. Yeah,
he's there. Bobby Brown. He's there too.
Yeah, I just aged out. I really enjoyed his first album, but then after that, I didn't listen to anything else.
Right, but he just put out 10 albums, and it's not like you stopped listening because the music was for 14-year-olds. The music was for you. You just chose not to listen. I think a lot of people did that. I think the Rihanna thing was too much for a lot of us, and it was hard to just forget that. But I was looking at a video the other day of Facebook, and it was from this old James Brown interview when he had just gotten out of jail because he hit his wife. And I know people, the first time I saw this interview was maybe a year or two ago. I had never seen it before. And there were people who showed it to me like laughing, like, isn't this funny and crazy what James Brown was doing at the time? And so I'm gonna show it to y'all because I'm trying to illustrate this point. So here's the interview. Let's see how I turn the volume up. Here we go. All right, so here's the interview. This is him coming out of jail after hitting his wife with a lead pipe. Okay.
Oh, goddamn.
I just want you to understand what we're looking at.
And firing a gun at a car that she was in. He was released.
Let me refresh.
And firing the gun, nigga.
Brown assaulting his wife with a lead pipe and firing a gun at a car that she was in. He was released yesterday on $15,000 bond. He joins us from Atlanta to discuss the charges. How did all of this trouble begin?
Living in America. Is nothing wrong?
Nothing wrong at all. You're not in any difficulty, but you're out on bond.
No, I'm not.
Have all the charges been dropped?
Yeah, I'm out on love.
Now, James, this isn't the first time you and your wife have had a problem. Are the two of you going to be able to work this out?
Let's talk
Had a problem. That's how we talked about it.
about some music.
You want to talk about music and you don't want to talk about what happened.
No, it's all over.
What are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some questions about it?
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
What are you going to be doing on this tour?
I'm going to be
Where
doing
you-
Papa's got a brand new bag, living in America. Sex machine, get up off of that thing. I feel good. Jam.
And you already have started divorce proceedings. Does that mean that you're now eligible?
Yes, I'm eligible. I'm singing. I want to mingle.
You want to mingle.
Yeah.
Now, the women love you when you get out there. Why do you think that is?
What'd you say?
The women love you when you get out there.
Why is that, ladies?
Well, I'm asking you.
Now you can't see, but there's women. The way the thing is cropped, you can't see that there's women with them too.
Because
Why
I
do you
look
think
good.
that is? You
I
look
smell
good.
good. I
Yes.
feel good.
And you sing good.
And
look
make
good.
love good.
Oh. Well, there we are. We don't have to ask anybody else. We got that from the source. There you are. Brown.
That was, an interview that he did after being accused of beating his wife with a pipe and shooting a gun next to her head or something. So when I say like it's to me of a thing of we are deciding as we're getting older that we don't want to let these other people get a pass that
Right.
we clearly given out many times
Yes.
over the course of our life, whether it be to a Bobby Brown, whether it be to a Chris, whether it be to a Tupac, whether it be to a James Brown, or
Mhm.
many other talented, abusive people and shit like that. To me, I can't help but feel like what we're doing is saying, since we don't really fuck with Chris Brown, let's just harass him when every time he does anything for the rest of his life. And I don't know what they want. Like I low key, like not to get too dark, but I think when shit like this keeps happening forever, I start wondering if people want folks to harm themselves at some point.
You know what? You sound like me. I'll look aside because I try to use logic. And when certain people come up and have people just lose their minds and act like anything they do, they can save a cat out the tree, and motherfuckers will act like they is just the worst thing that ever exists. Like, well, I'm erasing all the bullshit you're talking, so you want them to die. You want them to die and not exist. Like, let's just get to the bottom of it. You just want to drop dead and die. Because other than that, they're going to be around.
He's gonna make a living. Like, he's not just gonna become Chris Brown at Whole Foods. So you want something impossible, which is for him to cease to make music and make a living and be the guy that he is. And that's, and since it's impossible, you now have built in this thing where you can like harass and mock every single thing this dude does for the rest of his life, and you can be like, I'm the hero here, because he won't just go away, which isn't going to happen.
Right.
Because I think a lot of this is about outrage and anger addiction, and then the outrage and the anger needs an excuse, and the excuse becomes Chris Brown still exists.
Yep.
And so then I start thinking, what's going to make this thing stop? And for the large part, I think they be wanting these people to kill themselves, because one of the things that made me that I thought was interesting was like, I saw people saying shit like, oh, he fucked up, he shouldn't have responded. And I'm like, y'all talked about this man for 17 years. What do you mean he shouldn't have? He didn't respond. He tried to do I'm not gonna respond for 17 years. This is like one of the first time he's directly being like, people on the internet, fuck y'all. Like Reggie saying at some point people get tired. Yeah, like he got tired. like and they're like, oh, he done fucked up now. I'm like, but and when you say that, what you're saying is I'm gonna harass him more now, which is
correct.
Like that's to me, because I just don't see the heroism in this. I like the fact that that he appears to be the bad boy of R&B or just a bad person in general is still not some new thing, and the fact that these same motherfuckers are gonna throw on some Bobby Brown or some James Brown or Marvin Gaye or some Tupac or whatever is crazy to me, because that means that you're able to put a cognitive dissonance in there when you need it to be. But like I said, I just think they can't. Yeah, Rick James, like there's just so many. There's so many. But
Right,
Nicki Minaj, there's just so many. But yeah, I think the other part of this that's getting lost is like ain't nobody making Chloe Bailey do these things. Chloe Bailey wants this. Like
right.
Chloe Bailey low key is trying to change her image into like bad girl R&B person. I don't know that she would date Chris Brown or something like that, but this is her image. If you go on her Instagram, you watch her go from like Chloe and Haley and we're doing the kind of, quiet, we come on and we play with like, acoustic music, and now she's like trying to be like sex symbol, like it's all lingerie and ass shaking and stuff like that over there, and that's her right, her prerogative. I'm not knocking it at all.
Yeah,
but
like a lot of people who start out young go through a phase like this. Not all, but a percentage.
I'm not even saying it's a phase. I'm just saying it's the image she wants.
Agreed.
Like this could be her for the rest of her life. I don't know.
Yes.
All I'm saying is her aligning with people like Chris Brown is not in any way some shit where you need to attack Chris Brown. I think what is happening right now is that they don't want to admit that they're disappointed in Chloe, and they don't want to be seen as coming after a black woman by telling her, hey, you shouldn't do this. But that's the only person that can control whether the shit come out. He's a feature on some shit, or she's a feature on his shit, but that she's making choices in her career. And so it just feels weird. I've seen this happen before with other artists where they infantilize the black woman that is making the decision like she's a victim, because they only know how to preach victimhood. They don't know how to be like a black person that a black woman I like and root for made a decision I don't agree with. So it becomes, Chris Brown, you better get off that track. It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't step in the studio and bogart my way onto this shit. She want me on here. And if we're being frank, her career needs it more than his career. He's doing fine. Like, it's not like people, like a lot of people that root for, with this social media shit, a lot of people root for Chloe on some social media shit.
Yes.
Like, they're not really fucking with her music and shit like that. So she need to get people that y'all go listen to. And unfortunately, Chris Brown is one of the people that people go listen to. And the final thing I'll say about Chris Brown is this. Look in the crowd. Look in the VIP section of him in the club. Look who the photo shoots after, who's paying extra to take pictures with him. It's black women keeping that man, women of color keeping that man in business. It is nobody else. If it's some type of reckoning that needs to happen, it's going to be an internal one between like black women and brown women of if he's unacceptable and persona non grata. You don't look in there and see this all these black men holding him up. You don't see them buying concerts at a ticket. You don't see white people doing it. This reminds me a lot of when people was trying to put R. Kelly on anybody but black women, and look at the staunchest defenders of this motherfucker. Look who be telling y'all but he good and standing outside the trial, like
right, and giving them money and supporting,
calling his victims fast and shit. Like some of this shit is internal. Right. And it's like y'all gotta handle that then, because the message ain't coming out, and so to me that's why the message looks more like a foci. It looks like a generational divide of people who are older and weren't really influenced or into him that much, trying to retroactively make it everyone else's like fault, and of course people that are younger, black women who are younger, are like, yeah, I don't care. I watched y'all be hypocrites. I watched y'all support a bunch of motherfuckers that y'all still listen to this day, and y'all trying to take away my motherfucker, and I'm not gonna do it. And that's what's ending up happening, I think.
And I completely agree. They look at us going, y'all got a problem with this, but when they can't have fun. If the homie can't have none, that's cool though. Like it's one of those things where, like you said, everybody and nobody's willing to admit I'm problematic.
Right.
I have problematic shit. There can be people that ain't shit that do great things. The two things can exist in one person. And for some reason, we live in an age now where people act like these two things cannot exist. Yes, you can be not shit and you can perform for the world and do great things and change the world and march and all this shit. And you can still be an ain't shit person, and it's one of those things too where this is one reason why I kind of calm down and I don't have a lot of the outrage and a lot of the anger and shit that people have online. Because guess what? I've lived longer than where I fucked up. And you know what I don't want? I wouldn't want me fucking up. And every time I turn around and walk outside my door, some motherfucker reminded me every goddamn day of an error I made when I was fucking 10 every motherfucking day.
Well, not talking these general terms. Like, he beat a woman when he was 17, like, and one of the most famous, well-liked women on the planet. So it's a specific thing he did, and it's not a we all made mistakes situation. It's a very specific public mistake that people are gonna, always hold against him for the rest of his life. Even the same people that claim to be like prison abolitionists and the same people that want, no police and shit like that, they want him to kill himself, or they want police to come get him or something, so he's done terrible shit. This is not a defense of Chris Brown. I don't think he's a good person in any of this shit. My point is, this isn't really about him anymore. Like,
I agree with that. I agree.
It stopped being about like making sure he's not a danger or harm to somebody, and it started being about the hate hive shit. We just don't like him. When his name pops up, we gonna harass him. And I'm like, at this point, I don't know who's being served by it, because if you really had a problem, if you looked at this as a problem to solve, the answers would be shit like go after Chloe Bailey to tell her take this dude off her track.
Agreed.
It wouldn't be we got him to respond. Like that kind of shit sounds like children to me. Like, it doesn't sound like you really were about the shit you claim to be about. It sounds like you wanted his attention, and your dick got just as hard when he responded to you after 17 years of coming after him. But so yeah, I don't, like I said, I'm under no illusions he's like some great person, a good person even, or whatever. I think he seemed to be fucked up to me. And I think we have more than enough examples to show that. But at the same time, I don't know how him being on a song is the thing that's the real problem. We can get him. That just feels like y'all wilding out. So let's see what else is happening. Some of y'all out here looking for love. Okay, meaning y'all probably on the apps. So we're going to go through the top 5 Tinder terms to help you get a match.
Oh, shit now.
Men and women who use these phrases in their dating profile are more likely to get that right swipe. Dating researchers from Duo.com analyzed Tinder profiles belonging to more than 16,000 eligible singles and determine which words are likely to catch the eyes of the opposite sex and secure a more compatible match. I hope y'all will write this down. All right, so men, this is what you need to be writing down. Number 1, non-smoker. Number 2, travel. Number 3, dog. Because I guess if you can love a dog, you can love a woman. I don't know how that you can.
You got love in your heart.
Yeah, the way they have broken the study down, it seems to be male women like cisgender relationships. That's the only reason I'm talking like this. Because these articles never consider that there's any other type of relationship.
Right.
Oh man. Anyway, number 4, wine. Women apparently like men who like wine. And number 5, coffee. Now, what I'm wondering is number 4 and 5, if those are just like people saying terms like, hey, we can go out for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. You see what I'm saying? Because those are 2 non-committal type of first date situations that aren't as intimidating or as tied down as like a meal. A lot of times, like if you have a bad cup of coffee date, it's not the end of the world. A lot of times you can arrange it during the daytime where you can like make it out like, oh, well, I gotta go to the gym now. Oh, I gotta go back to work.
Agreed. That for some people, they're like, I don't want a motherfucker that smoke. They're like, I don't like the smell of smoke.
Mhm.
And they're like, nah, I'm good on that smoking. For some people, that's make or break, like a real heavy
Yeah.
make or break.
It's number one. So
Right.
now here it is for women. Number one, beer. Number one. Now the drink, the beverages didn't come until 4 and 5 for men, but the number one thing men like, and they see a woman that's like, I like beer, or maybe we can have.
Okay, so this is the men looking at the women. Okay,
yeah. The last one was women looking at men. Number 2, sports. Number 3, pubs. Now to me, that just sounds like shit that men want to do when they hang out with other men.
Right.
Let's drink a beer, go watch some sports at the pub.
What was the color dynamic of these people?
I don't know. They didn't say. Number 4, gym rat, and number 5, carnivore.
Carnivore. There's a lot of white people in here. Gym rat. The fuck.
This just sounds like what men would do with dudes.
Right.
Let's go.
We go to the bar. We drink beer. We gym rat, and we eat meat. The fuck is this?
Yeah. So that was very weird to me.
Terrible survey.
But it's terrible. Those are the results. I'm just trying to help y'all. Like maybe y'all be into this shit. They also had like the entertainment keywords to get matches. In entertainment, travel, shopping, music, fashion, and reading. Those are the big ones for men and women. They have different percentages they match with, but people love those keywords. Okay. So good luck out there, everybody. Go write that in your bio.
Good luck to you all.
If you're a woman looking for a man, beer, pubs, sports. Men are stupid.
Dumb. Did you put beer in there? It's like, the fuck that got to do with anything, dog?
Yeah. They just searching for beer,
Yeah, they just searching for beer.
Oh, this reminds me. I've saved this a long time ago, but it's so apropos that we were talking about Chris Brown. This is this dude on Twitter, Kevin T. Porter. He makes these videos, and this one is so funny to me.
Hey guys, it's Kevin. I just wanted to take a second to talk about something that happened in the news today. So it came out that a prominent male in media, a celebrity, was accused of some pretty horrific sexual abuse and emotional abuse over a long period of time. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to say that I never liked him. And I wasn't surprised. I didn't know anything about these crimes before today, but when I saw them today, I said, I'm not surprised. And that makes me very, very good for never having liked him and for not being surprised. That's why I want to focus on here. And that's the message I want to get out there, is not the crimes themselves and their horrificness, and not the voice of women and believing women and the women who accused him of the crimes, but the fact that I never liked him and I wasn't surprised. So thanks for listening. It wasn't easy for me to talk about this, but I appreciate you.
That's exactly how the fuck people sound.
So
oh my God, that is spot on.
It's evergreen. It is evergreen. Like, I was like, he is nailing all of it. That is the ingredients to a perfect faux pas. It's just, I already wasn't fucking with this, but now that y'all think this person is horrible, I'd like to be the first person to say I'm better than everyone, because I was never liking him.
I never liked him. I didn't even know his name till I seen it fall down in my timeline.
Right.
Wouldn't know who he was if they served me pizza.
Right.
But I'm angry.
Y'all like y'all. Oh, y'all are hurt because y'all were fans. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. Now you possibility got to give up your favorite restaurant. Couldn't be me.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do some election news. All right, election news. Off the air, Fox News stars blasted the election fraud claims that they peddled. Mm-hmm. I mean,
So they was
I
off
feel
the
like
air.
I feel like we been new. You know,
Yeah, it's a lot of shit presented itself when we go, okay now.
yeah, like this just feels like one of those, like, yeah, we were on this. Like the only people, like it was just like, I guess the sad part of life is you have to wait 2 years for somebody, 3 years for somebody to come
Somebody
out.
do
Like,
investigation.
the investigation results to come out, but you know, when Dominion sued them, that's the voting machine people.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of that. The you know, the reveal of the evidence that they've been finding. And yeah, it's just it's a long article that goes into like detail about like Tucker Carlson knew and he texted so and so and the other shit. And they,
expensive ass lie. They was like, stop lying on us. Yeah, expensive ass lie. They was like, y'all are lying on us. We're suing.
yeah, but like, so the details of the things that are in here though are just like Tucker Carlson and Joe Scarborough and all these people, Janine Perillo, or whatever her name is, Janine Perro, people coming out being like, yeah, it's complete bullshit. This is crazy. This is nuts. We're losing. These guys trying to steal the election, and then going on the air and being like, you know, these Dominion machines, we don't know what's happening with them. We need to investigate. It seems like there's some. So they were just peddling these lies until the lawsuit was hitting their ass, and they start backing down off of these lies. But most of us have never seen Fox News as an actual news organization. Like a lot of us have been like, this does not qualify as news. It's their own facts, there's propaganda, it's a bunch of shit, but it's not really news. Right. And we've been harmed as a society for even allowing this to exist. There's other countries where they would have fought this shit and been like, you can't put this on the air, or if you do, you can't call this news.
Right, you can't call this news.
You know, you're not getting invited to the White House for the media pool of people because you're not attempting to do actual media,
right?
Like actual like news media. But yeah, it's just, and then I remember reading another article about this woman who had fact checked Trump on Twitter. She worked at Fox at the time, I think she still does, and said, you know, this is a lie. This, you know, basically you lied about this election shit. And then they had a text chain with Tucker Carlson and all the bigwigs talking about they want to get her fired. This is unacceptable, you know. And eventually she deleted the tweet. She never commented on it again. So it's just very fucking, you know, they knew what they were doing, and to me, we all knew. It's just, this is the proof of it, but it's not the bombshell that people are going to hope for, because who the fuck was holding out hope that, like, no, there's just a mistake, they thought he won for real? Like, nah. Active duty North Carolina Marine, well, a North Carolina Marine was on active duty when he broke into the Capitol on January 6th, says the FBI.
What?
Yep. He was arrested Wednesday at Camp Lejeune on the misdemeanor charge of unlawful entry into the Capitol. He made his initial.
North Carolina, from that ain't that North Carolina? That is Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, that was the first word I said. North Carolina Marine.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I heard Camp Lejeune. I was like, that's in North Carolina. My bad.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he made his initial federal court appearance in Wilmington. Two other Marines who were his companions on January 6th when an angry mob stormed the building to stop congressional certification of former President Donald Trump's defeat to Joe Biden, also have been charged with unlawful entry in the case. They're identified as Corporal Micah Coomer, who was arrested near the Marine base at Camp Pendleton, California, and Sergeant Joshua Abate, who was taken into custody at Fort Meade. Listen, there's things that people hate or just think Merrick Garland should be doing a better job of. I got to give it to him. He's keeping that same energy. What are we now? Like 2-3 years from when people did this?
3 years?
They're still getting people who were just entering. You see what I'm saying? Like, they've sent those 3% of motherfuckers to jail, and they're still going after other motherfuckers. They have not stopped. And many people,
I said, yep, keep that same energy.
Yeah, and many people have decried them every step of the way as not doing enough or not caring. But to me, this isn't a reflection of not caring. And honestly, I want them to keep getting every last one of these motherfuckers. I have that energy. I have that Holocaust energy. Like, you know how you look up every once in a while, you see an article, it's like a 99-year-old man who was an intern at a Holocaust camp has been apprehended and is going back to Germany to face trial or whatever. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, get his ass. I don't care he's 99. I don't care he got grandkids, great grandkids. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have been doing that. The end. And I have that same thing about running up on the Capitol, dog. I don't care that it's 3 years later, 4 years later. As long as Merrick Garland is at the DOJ, this is going to be what it is, and they should. And it's probably taking up a shit ton of resources and time to do this. And it's probably, but he seems to be meticulous. He doesn't rush things, and he makes sure shit gets done and that it sticks. Then let's go. Let's fucking go. An ex-GOP candidate was arrested in shootings at lawmakers' houses. Solomon Pena is his name. He's a failed Republican candidate who authorities said was angry that he lost and made baseless claims that the election was rigged against him. These claims are dangerous. He was arrested in connection to a series of drive-by shootings targeting the homes of Democratic lawmakers in New Mexico's largest city. Solomon Pena, 39, was arrested Monday evening, just hours after SWAT officers took him into custody and served search warrants at his home. They say he was the mastermind of what appears to be a politically motivated conspiracy leading to shootings at the homes of 2 county commissioners and 2 state legislators between early December and early January.
Goddamn gangster, because you lost, my nigga, you lost.
And they put this. And the thing about these election laws is they put public officials who are just doing their jobs in danger.
Right.
What you're saying is these people are usurping power. These people are stealing elections. So you're and you're talking to a bunch of conservative, gun-owning, violent motherfuckers and just encouraging them to do something about, like, we got to do something. And you're railing them against people who didn't do anything wrong. Someone could have got killed.
Yes.
They said in one case, 3 bullets passed through the bedroom of a state senator's 10-year-old daughter. She could have got. What if she was in there? So yeah, they got him, and I'm glad they got him. But it's just, ridiculous that we live in this world like this. After the election, police say Pena showed up uninvited at the elected officials' homes with what he claimed were documents proving he won his race. There was no evidence of widespread voter fraud in New Mexico in 2020 or 2022. The shootings began shortly after those conversations. And this is radical terrorism. Like, come on.
Yeah, everybody in America think that shit happened in other places. That shit can happen here, dog. They were like, we lost, fuck it, we'll take it. You can't allow this shit to happen.
A Republican candidate's wife was arrested, charged with casting 23 fraudulent votes for her husband in 2020.
Nigga, 23?
23. Yeah, oh yeah, 23.
Nigga, 23?
Yeah.
One for every year since 2020. I mean, since 2000. And you fuck around and you got people that, like, they tell them they are eligible to vote. They go vote. Then they turn around and be like, nah, psych, you ain't eligible to vote, and arrest them down in Florida. But this bitch cast 23 votes. Fuck out of here.
And what's wild is they're always doing the shit they're accusing the other people of doing, aren't they?
Right.
Like, how many times we have to catch the people that are, when we do spend all this fucking exorbitant amount of money to find some people who commit voter fraud, and we keep coming back with fucking Republicans purposely doing shit like this. In North Carolina, we had to do literally stealing votes, literally changing votes, forging votes, and it was a Republican every fucking time. They have yet to find any evidence that says some Democratic conspiracy where people are cheating to get Democrats elected, and yet we still treat this as if it's this objective point of view of, like, we got to really look into this voter fraud. It's not happening. And when it does happen, it ain't happening for Democrats.
Right.
Her name is Kim Fong Taylor. She was arrested Thursday, accused of multiple counts of voter fraud. She cast 23 fraudulent votes for her husband in 2020 election. Her husband is an elected Republican, so I guess it helped. He needed them votes, I guess.
Did he win by 23 votes?
She visited numerous households within the Vietnamese community in Woodbury County, where she collected absentee ballots for people that were not present at the time. Taylor, who was born in Vietnam, then filled out and cast those ballots herself, the indictment alleges, causing the casting of votes in the names of residents who had no knowledge of and had not consented to the casting of their ballots.
Wow.
She's accused of signing voter registration forms on behalf of the residents who were not present. And all prosecutors charged her with 26 counts of providing false information and registering voting, 3 counts of fraudulent registration, and 23 counts of fraudulent voting. Each count carries a maximum 5-year prison sentence. I hope she go to jail. I think she should go to jail.
Serve some time.
Yeah. So, all right, but yeah, that's it for that's enough election bullshit for now. You know,
that's enough of the regular ass news.
Oh, that's not regular news. That's election, but you know, I'm sure there'll be plenty of more to talk about with that kind of stuff at some point. Let's move into something a little more jazzy, a little more fun. Let's play some oh wait, this thing doesn't want to come up. Okay, cool, it's coming back up. But yeah, I think we should play some Guess the Race. Let me pull out my Guess the Race music.
This time for Guess the Race. This time for Guess the Race. This time for Guess the Race. This time for Guess the Race.
All right, Karen, you know what it is. Guess the race time. I'll read an article or play an article. You guess the race of the people involved. And of course, the chat room will play along. Today, you in the chat room will be racist. A Wichita Falls man who plotted to blow up an Amazon data center in Virginia is sentenced to federal prison.
Oh, damn.
Seth Aaron Pendley pleaded guilty in June to malicious attempt to destroy a building with an explosive device and was sentenced to 10 years by the U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor. He faced a maximum of 20 years. He was arrested in April trying to buy C4 explosives from an undercover FBI agent.
Not the C4.
Authorities searched his home. They found an AR-15 receiver, mask, wigs, maps, and other items. He admitted that he disclosed his plan to blow up an Amazon data center to a confidential source in January. He hoped that he would kill off 70% of the internet, including service to the CIA and FBI. Wonder what his political leanings are. What was the FBI doing that he disagreed with?
I don't know. It's very dangerous that much of the internet is sitting in one spot.
Now, this might be shocking to you, Karen. Okay, this next sentence. He also claimed to have been present at the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. I don't know if that might be a little too much.
You better not speak too loud. They're gonna come knocking on his door.
Well, I mean, he's in prison. He's about to go to prison, Karen. He's been found guilty, so they on his door already.
They ain't got to go far.
Yeah, they know where his door is, and it's a stage.
It's a cell.
It's not a door. It's got bars on it.
It's a cage.
Okay, much like a Rakim song from the 1989. It's got bars on it. Okay, and though he did not enter the building, he came prepared with a sawed-off AR rifle. So, guess the race.
I'm going white.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going white.
All right, check the chat room. Goddamn. We already knew he was 16 white. Seth Aaron is a white as the phosphorus he wanted to use. Brian Earl Spillner ass white. Guess the politics. Guess the race white. Incel white. This one had wigs. This is definitely a white. Didn't get my package in 2 days. White. Only black Seth I know can shoot a 3. White. 3 named serial killer GOP white. White and white. The correct answer is, and everyone said the same thing. And everyone got it correct. He's white.
So you must have got it wrong.
Karen, what were you gonna say? You know they can't hear you when you're talking over the.
No problem. I'm about to say the way you dragged that out like you was announcing the winner. I was like, you get it wrong. I was about to demand a recount. Oh, you know what?
He was demanding a recount January 6th.
You know what? He was doing the Tinder survey. Beer, pubs, gym rat.
Yeah. Well, that's him. He's ripped. The same way he thinks that America was ripped off when Joe Biden got elected.
Apparently so.
Let's go, Brandon, up in here. Let's see. A man is accused of stealing a pricey yacht in New York and setting sail for Vermont.
Oh shit.
A man is accused of stealing $1 million yacht from northern New York and driving it across Lake Champlain to Vermont, and he appeared in court Wednesday. The boat was stolen Tuesday from Safe Harbor Games Marina in Rouse's Point. Robert Morris, 56, faces a felony charge in the case. Absolutely shocking, said Ralph. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Choinier?
Yeah, he had the yacht club up in arms. I know that was like, the fuck, people stealing yachts?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't even know how you steal a yacht.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing to steal a yacht, nigga. It's like a big ass boat. You got to know how to unhook it. You got to know how to drive it. I don't think a yacht is like a motherfucking car. You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, that ain't really a
I know that was like, we bought a yacht for a reason. Niggas stealing yachts.
That's not an impulse crime.
No, that's not. That was a planned crime.
They said Ralph and Ann Choinier are both retired and have lived in the community most of their lives. They spend their days going on bike rides, love to sit on the bench across from the Safe Harbor Games Marina to admire the boats, just sort of a hobby of ours. They had not heard about the yacht stolen Tuesday from the marina. The 48-foot Volans is valued at $1.2 million in Canadian dollars.
48 foot? Goddamn.
We have no burglaries. We have no armed robbery. We have none of that stuff, Ralph said. That is surprising. Yes, it is.
They got the whole yacht people up in arms.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what's happening.
So yeah, Morris was very vocal throughout the hearing. He faces felony charges for grand larceny. The state's attorney Deb Solis says Morris had the boat for at least 2 days. He drove the boat from Rouse's Point, New York to Burton Island, Vermont, so he crossed state lines. Ooh, that's federal. Should have made it out to international orders. Okay. Morris interrupted to say he was water testing the boat to make mechanical fixes.
What? No. Who the fuck believes that?
He's just a nice person like that. He just take your boat and see what mechanical fixes it need for you.
Right, they got a whole crew that's probably like, I can fix it, or they call the person like you do the man that fixed the cars, come fix the yacht fixing man. No, thank you.
An affidavit from the Vermont State Police said they found 5 sets of boat keys on the vessel, and the marina said they were missing the keys. Morris has a rap sheet that spans New England and was a wanted fugitive in New Hampshire. Morris shared with the police the many reasons why he was on the boat, saying he had permission from the owner, which McCarthy says isn't true, and that he was driving the boat to Montreal to return the boat to McCarthy, but Morris was found heading south rather than north. Well, he got lost, got a little turnaround. They requested a $25,000 bond, calling him a flight risk. Yeah, because you hop on a boat and get out of here.
Come on, man. And that's all over. At least you know on land he like to stay up north somewhere. So you ain't got to worry about him coming down here.
All right, you let him go on bond. He's like, cool. What's the nearest marina again? He was
had 5 sets of keys, but goddamn, some other people's boat was about to be missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little to no contact with the state of Vermont. He advised police he was homeless and had not been in the area for 20 years. His defense attorney says Morris is staying at his uncle's house in Alberg. He asked for a competency exam, which the judge granted. He left the meeting and made an inappropriate gesture to the webcam.
Inappropriate gesture? What he?
Maybe a middle finger or something? Yeah, middle finger.
Okay.
All right, Karen, guess the race.
We still in yachts, white.
Karen's going white. Martha Vineyard's aspirations white because I heard Vermont. The felony made me think black, but his name would have been Bobby Morris. Christopher Columbus ass white. Clam Chowder white. Just can't see a Negro running off to Vermont again. A white. They let him in the yacht club and then he got lost like Columbus white. I'ma go black. Amerigo Vespucci descendant white and white. The correct answer is white. One person did say black. And that's him. And that's him throwing the middle finger up. He looks devious. I wonder if that's his real hair. That's the yacht he stole. Man, that's a $1.2 million boat. Man, you don't get nearly as much boat as I believe $1.2 million is. So like,
right. But the boat market must be off the chain. So them big ass boats we be seeing must be a fortune then.
Yeah, the boat game is just not. It's just not what it's supposed to be.
I'm not. I don't have boat game money.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the bonus round, Karen. So far, I believe you're 2 for 2.
Yay!
So we'll see if I can pull this up. Here we go.
That bitch was white! I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A Minnesota woman was jailed yesterday for domestic assault after allegedly clobbering her boyfriend in the head with a whole chicken.
Oh shit!
According to the cops, who reported that the victim still had some chicken residue in his hair.
I mean, chicken grease?
Chicken residue. Maybe it wasn't cooked.
Chicken feather. Goddamn.
I said residue, not feathers. What?
Oh.
What is happening over there? Can you hear what I'm saying? Is my mic working? Chicken residue.
Okay, what kind of residue? Like a residue?
You ever taken a chicken out of the packaging?
Yes.
Is the chicken just dry as fuck, or what? Or is it like some greasy, slimy shit on it?
Yes.
So she hit him with the chicken, and it seemed like chicken residue was left in his hair.
Oh.
Yeah. The victim told cops he was driving home last night to Eagle Lake residence to share that he shares with Natalie Broomer, 36, when he was attacked. The man who had been at a bar with Broomer said she was hitting him and spitting in his face. Upon arriving in the residence, the man alleges she hit him with a whole chicken in the back of his head. The victim still has some chicken residue in his hair, the police said.
Icky and slimy. I know that shit stank.
When the cops sought to place her under arrest, she struggled with them and began putting her hands away from the officers, requiring multiple attempts to get her handcuffed. While being escorted from the home,
she was slimy, that's why.
She reportedly continued to yell and attempted to pull her arms away from the officers and kick their legs around. She was charged with domestic assault and obstructed police, both misdemeanors. She was booked in the Blue Earth County Jail. She also apparently was arrested in December 2021 for assaulting the same man who was identified as a victim in yesterday's incident.
Oh, sound like they're abusive.
They've been together for more than 10 years. So, and they said they did not indicate whether the chicken was cooked or raw or whether the victim was injured by the poultry strike. Well, you got to wait 3 to 5 days to see if you get salmonella, right?
Right.
All right, Carrie, guess the race.
I'm going white.
All right, Karen's going white. Let's check the chat room. She asked for all flats and drums black. The bird used a bird to knock him upside the head black. White lady shenanigans. Chris Brown back out here wild and black. The hatred needs to assault him with a yard bird. She's white, he's black. There's something about Mary. White, I don't know what race that is. Chickens dying every day, B, but only a white would waste that deliciousness. Black, we need a win today. Food wasting white. Being slapped with food is his kink. Black. fought police but didn't get shot white. The residue was without seasoning white, and that's white. The correct answer is we got a lot of white, a lot of black. Karen, what'd you say? White?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said white?
Mm-hmm.
You got it correct. Some of you did miss it.
Oh.
Yeah. She kind of looked like Gwyneth Paltrow. She looked problematic.
Yeah, a lot of problems.
She not above hitting you with raw chicken, you know?
Not above it at all.
Some people got that raw chicken look to their face. So you're like, oh, this motherfucker hit people with raw chickens. Well, she got that face. I could tell from looking at her.
You could tell.
Whether it was raw or cooked, it was salt and pepper to taste.
It was something.
All right, sword ratchetness time. All right, sword ratchetness time. You know what it is. Sword wielding man shot by former lover's new boyfriend.
Oh shit.
Investigators said a deadly shooting. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Is this snapped? This sounds like a snapped scenario.
Huh. I don't know if this feels like snap to me.
It would have to be the old boyfriend and not the new one then?
I feel like if her current boyfriend getting killed would be snapped, or her husband getting killed by a new boyfriend, it's more snappy. Being that the person that got shot, I don't know. I mean, could be snapped. I guess I would need more details. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Investigators said the deadly shooting was when a woman and her boyfriend found her ex-boyfriend outside their home. Investigators said Johnson and the woman's current boyfriend started fighting. During the altercation, Johnson got a sword from his car. The woman's boyfriend grabbed a gun and shot Johnson, according to KCSO. After the shooting, the man left the scene, and KCSO eventually arrested him. Investigators announced Johnson had died from his injuries Tuesday afternoon. KCSO said the incident involved self-defense, and the man in custody were arrested on charges unrelated to the shooting. I don't know what was his charges.
Mm-hmm.
They said it's now a homicide investigation. So I guess it's not. It was initially self-defense, and now it's homicide. So maybe you're right, Karen. That sounds kind of snap to me.
I was like something about that sound like it was something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about that requires a 30 to 45 minute to an hour investigation.
Yeah, the people normally that are left alive are the ones that get to tell the story. So if you kill him, you could be like, he was crazy, he had a sword, but maybe it was a setup. I don't know, you know. So I feel like that's totally plausible. We don't have like definitive proof one way or the other. But maybe this does require
speak to family and friends and the people investigating to see.
I was right about something.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, everybody. I played the ad earlier. If you're listening to this on later on the MP3, but I just want to give them another shout out here. Our sponsor today, We Flesh in This Here Space, Black Women Be. It's a new podcast. It's out for Black women and all those who love and care for them. This limited 6-part series is hosted by Lisa Anderson and Sojourner Truth of the Sojourner Truth Leadership Circle and artist Michaela Gaston, and it explores the fullness of Black women's humanity with topics ranging from creation to singing to managing a major business. We Flesh includes incredible interviews with amazing Black women such as former Black Panther Party leader Erica Huggins, artist Michelle Browder, and business leader and coach Susan Callender. Here, Black women be in conversation and contemplation and just be together. New episodes are released on Mondays, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Just search We Flesh. All right, y'all. We'll be back. Thanks for listening. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night. Rest of your evening. Oh, and check me out on Keith and the Girl Silent Trailers later on tonight at 6. Bye.